Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everyone, this is the Loose Cannon David McBee, and I got a very special guest here on TLSN Overtime as we're getting ready to kick off a lot of our sports coverage of the season, and a team we've been covering the last couple months, the Yellville Summit Panthers with their football season. And I got head coach Chaseton McCarthy. Very glad to have you join us here on TLSN Overtime.
Yeah, David, thanks for having me. It's always a good thing to get to speak about our football program and talk about our kids and all the awesome things that they've been doing.
And we're glad to have you back because this is you're really back in the Twin Lakes area. You've been here before, and when I was going at your bio, I was kind of looking over it, and I thought that was pretty cool. Your first high school position was actually over in Mountain Home with Coach Joyce. You were the receivers and special teams coach. So what was your initial impression of the Mountain Home Bomber system in your time over there?
It was really good. I couldn't have asked for a better coach to work under for my first high school job. You know, he really throws you to the fire and really was a great teacher and taught me a lot. And I grew tremendously in those first couple of years. It was a tough time for the Bomber football program when we first got there. They were still in that 6A, 7A split conference and were coming through a long losing streak. And so we got the opportunity to turn that around and get that moving in the right direction. And so it was a really good learning opportunity for me. So.
Well, I know. What's your thoughts this year? They're having a best year they've had. I went to Mountain Home, and I graduated '96, and I don't think we had a real good season. A big winning season since probably the mid '80s. What's it like for you to see the success? I know they had some success while you were there too, and then also the success they're having this year.
It's been really cool to see. I've always believed that, Mountain Home can have a successful football program. And from the time that I was there, I knew that it could be done. And so it's really cool to see Coach Airy and those other coaches and those kids turn that place around and really making some noise in a tough 6A West conference.
It is a tough conference. But I know after you left Mountain Home, then you kind of worked in Clarendon and Sheridan as an offensive coordinator. And then actually you went up to Missouri for a little bit of time. Up there with Glendale, you were the head coach of the freshman football team. And then you came back to Arkansas, and kind of interesting, you were pretty much offensive on all your positions. And then when you came back, you worked with one of the best programs in the state, Shiloh Christian, as a defensive coach.
Yeah, it was really a cool opportunity. Oftentimes you don't get the chance to move back and forth from one side of the ball to the other. And when the opportunity arose, I knew a chance to work at one of the best programs in the state of Arkansas in the last however many years. Even working on a different side of the ball, I knew it'd make me a better football coach and give me the opportunity to see it through a different lens. With the ultimate goal of being a head coach one day, I knew it'd be something that'd be beneficial for me. And just a chance to work at a place like that, couldn't pass that up. So.
Yeah, they're a tremendous program, and I know top notch. And a lot of the programs you were at previously were a lot of them were in rebuilds, and then you went to a team that was an established program that's been a dominating team for a long period of time. How did that kind of help you into what you've stepped in now over in Yellville?
I think it's really good to see. My experience has mostly been, like you mentioned, in rebuilding situations where you're trying to grow a program from one place and take to the next level. And I've been a part of those processes. And so it's cool to me to be able to see a place that was established, that they went through that process and then they had, sustained success over the course of many years. And to see it's just kind of a different animal. It's a different point in the program's process and its development. And so it's been really, really beneficial for me to see. I've seen the rebuild. I know what it's like from the early stages and through the hard parts and the tough parts. And I've also seen the different challenges you have. And once it gets established, some of those challenges and things that you have to work through at that point as well. So, and hopefully it sets the stage for, where we're going in the future. So.
Excited. This is your first year of coach at Yellville. So far, what would you say has probably been what's probably been your biggest challenge, kind of stepping from the assistant roles up to head coach?
I think there's a lot of things when it comes to head coaching that you can prepare for, but you really don't know till you get in that spot. And I think just continuing to learn and develop, being at a different level of football than maybe I've been accustomed to. Most of all, most of my experience comes at Class 5 and Class 6 schools, and going from that size of school to a smaller level like the 3A school. You deal with number challenges, and the way that you practice is much different. And how you structure practice and how you make sure kids get reps in different areas. So all those things are different. So just working through those processes of keeping the philosophies and the things that I believe in the same, but figuring out how to best practice those and best implement those on such a different scale.
Small school, and that's the thing that I really like. Of course, I grew up, in Mountain Home, was a Mountain Home Bomber, but the Twin Lake Sports Network, we cover like Cotter, Yellville, and then Flippin. And the small school passion in the small school sports is just amazing, and the fan participation. What have you thought about the fan participation so far?
It's been really incredible. I think every home game we've had a great turnout. It's just the stands are packed, and people are lined up down the fences and sitting on our mountain behind the end zone over there. And it's been really cool. It's one of the things that you love about small school football. I grew up at Cedarville, Arkansas, Cedarville High School, another 3A program. And, just that small town atmosphere where everything shuts down on Friday nights and everybody's there, and it's important to people. It's really cool to be a part of. I've really enjoyed those Friday nights here. I'm glad that we got a couple more home games coming up to end our season as well.
The Panthers are in town. The rest of town shuts down because Panther Field is where they're going to be. So the whole town comes out, and that's one of the reasons we love covering those small schools.
Yes,
But
sir.
but speaking of small schools and the importance of a lot of things, we got a chance to interview Joe Arkey, who's helping out the youth football program over in Yellville. We got a chance to interview him at halftime. Unfortunately, I forgot to take off the business card ad, so half the interview you could only see his legs and not his face. So I had him blocked out there. But in the interview, he just shared how impressed he's been about the support that you and your staff have really given the youth football program. So, how important is it to really have that youth football program to help prepare for high school?
I think if you take a look around the state or any state and look at the best programs, I think they all have strong relationships with their Pee Wee and youth football programs. It's a development thing, and high school programs, especially, and especially small schools, you get what, lives in your town. Those are the athletes, those are the kids you're going to have. And so the earlier you can be involved in the development of those kids and get them involved in something like football or other sports, and it's just really important for the growth of our program to pour into those guys and really be a resource. We want all the kids to be developed. We want them to be taken care of. We want them to have a good experience with football. And so any way that we can be a part of that and help with that, we want to do it. So, and Coach Arkey and our third and fourth grade coaches, they've all done a really good job this year of working with those kids and bringing them along. And they've had a great season. I know our third and fourth grade has another. They're going out to Harrison next week to compete against some bigger cities and their small school programs, and I know they're going to do well. And so it's been fun to see. We got to watch them yesterday and compete against Salem. It's been really cool to see.
Beat Harrison again this year, so maybe it'd be awesome to have Yellville. We get the clean sweep and go get a gob next week. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But kind of talking a little bit about the actual high school season, what's been some of the highlights of your season so far this year?
I think some of the highlights obviously start with the first game of the year to come out and for me to go out and get a big win against another North Central Arkansas team was really special for me. Enjoyed that, and then we had a really big win at home, the first home game of the year against Berryville. It's a 4A program that's not too far down the road, and We came out and during that game we faced some adversity. Like we got down at one point and then battled back in and came back and won the game. And it was really cool to see the fight and grit and determination of our kids and how they competed against a much larger school, had more numbers and more kids, things like that. And so that was really good for us, I think, and kind of sets the stage for where we're headed in the future.
Right in the games that we've broadcast this year is, you guys are willing to throw the ball a little bit more. I know in years past it was kind of hard to call. Well, it wasn't hard to call. It was pretty easy. It was, a lot of handoffs. And
Yeah.
but I've really enjoyed seeing you guys kind of go to the air. And how's that adjustment been to move your team from a primarily a running team to mixing it up a little bit more?
There's always challenges when you go from one style of play to another, and I think there couldn't be a bigger extreme change than what we were doing before I was here and what we're doing now. And so there's a lot of growth and growth opportunities. Our kids learning how to throw and catch and do things that they've never done and practice differently. But it's been really awesome to see them embrace that change as well. I'll never forget, my first couple of spring practices when I came over and we tried to do some throwing and catching and practice it. And we maybe, you can count on one hand the number that we actually caught. And then, now if you come watch us practice in the same drill at the same amount of time, you can count on one hand the number of times that we don't complete it. So it's been really cool to see that change. And I think the kids are having fun with it. I think it's something that our community and our kids that are going to join and play in the future will benefit from. It allows us to maximize the skill set of all of our kids, up front and at the skill positions. And so we're excited about that change.
Well, this week you have Atkins is going to be coming to town, and right now, do you guys still have an opportunity to make the playoffs, or have you guys been eliminated from the playoffs yet, or is there still a chance?
There's still a chance. Now, I don't know that we're in control of our own destiny now. If we were to win these last two, I think we'd need some other teams to beat some other folks and things like that. So there's still an outside chance there. But yeah, we got Atkins this week at home, and we're actually going to be hosting our military appreciation night this Friday. So we should have a good turnout and a good opportunity to give some praise to military members and people who serve our country as well.
Excited to be there. And these final two games too, you've had kind of a road heavy schedule in the center, so now finishing with two home games, we'd love to see you guys finish out the season on a couple of wins. So anything with Atkins that you guys are gonna, I know you can't give away too much stuff, but anything you guys are looking for with Atkins or things we should watch for?
Yeah, I think they're really good up front. They got some big guys up front. They run the ball well. They throw pretty well. They have a guy who plays running back, and then they put him at some wildcat quarterbacks. We'll have to stop him, number 8. Defensively, I've been watching them all day long. They're a 4-down team, cover 2, cover 4 structure in the secondary. We're gonna have to score some points. These guys throw it a little bit. They run it well. They put up a lot of points. I think they're averaging, near 40 points a game through the course of the year. So, we're going to have to score. So we're going to have to throw it around a little bit and try to put the pedal to the metal and go fast and get on the board early and often.
There to cover it. We'll go live probably about 6:45. You can watch it on Facebook and YouTube this week. And, we'd love to see a couple wins to finish out the season. I know the crowd, they're definitely going to bring the boom to the room on Friday night. But I know you're super busy getting ready to, coaches don't have time off. It was funny. I was like, I think I started to text you and I was like, yeah, you're probably off. And I was like, no, football coaches are never off. I think you're getting ready to do some film work as soon as we're done. But so I just got a few rapid fire questions so that way we can let you go. So these are tough ones. I might kind of throw you off a little bit, but that way people get to know a little bit more about you. But so currently right now, what shows are you binge watching or just watching?
Right now, my wife and I have been on a Seinfeld kick. We don't watch much TV right now, but when we do, it's usually Seinfeld.
Been doing some of the same thing. I'm like watching some old series, from the 80s and 90s, and more than I'm watching a lot of the new stuff. So that's cool. Who's your favorite football player of all time?
And my favorite football player of all time. This is a really tough one for me. Um, Probably, I'm a Bears fan, so the first one that comes to mind, there's probably plenty that are up there with him, but Devin Hester is one of my favorites for sure. Kick returner, DB for the Bears not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he had to run back in the Super Bowl to kind of kick off. I think when they were playing the Colts. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
that's right.
tremendous player. So, all right, Bears fan. So, what's your thought on the new quarterback, Caleb Williams?
I think he's doing a good job. I think he's as talented as any quarterback we've ever had. But, proof's in the pudding. First round pick. He's played well so far, but, it's all about longevity and consistency. A lot of times, those young quarterbacks in the league will have, they'll do well early on, maybe in their first couple of years. But, once they get those guys on tape, those NFL defenses tend to figure out what they're good at and what they're not good at. And so we'll see how he does. His first year has been good. I hope he can keep it going the next few years. So.
Well, I'm actually a Steeler fan, so we have your previous quarterback, Justin Fields, who he got us to 4-2, and then they end up benching him. And it's like you throw 10 touchdowns, one interception, and you get benched. But I'm glad to have him on our team. We'll just have to kind of see what plays out with the season. So, all
Yeah,
right, another rapid fire question. Everyone has this. What is your go-to song to get you pumped up before a football game?
man, my go-to song when I want to get hyped up and get ready to go is usually Enter Sandman by Metallica. That's the one that gets me going. So
That was my song. That was my album, the Black Album, early '90s. Of course, I had a mullet at the time and a Camaro, flowing in the wind. But
oh,
yeah,
you got to bring that back.
yeah. I was like, that's a good one. If I could just get Arvest to, let us get mullets on for our dress code, then we're good.
Perfect.
So, all right, final one. What is one thing maybe the football fans do not know about you?
Oh my goodness. One thing they may not know about me is I'm a big football fan, but I'm also a basketball fan too. So
NBA, college?
mostly just college, like watching Arkansas. So
Cal, the new coach coming in.
oh, I'm excited. Anytime you lose a good basketball coach like we lost, you get a little nervous. Who are you going to get in that's better? And I think we did a good job of finding. I mean, one of the best college basketball coaches of all time, honestly.
Yeah, it definitely got the area pumped up, and we're going to be excited to cover that. Well, Coach, thank you so much. I know it's a Sunday afternoon, taking a little bit of your time. Appreciate you joining us. For all those fans that are going to be tuning in, we'll be on Facebook and YouTube. Friday night, it's going to be Atkins coming to Yellville, so have to join us there. And before we finish up, after this clip, after this interview, I'm going to, we were talking Razorbacks. We actually just got a shout out from Darren McFadden, the old Run DMC. So we're going to add the clip at that, but we just wanted to say to McFadden, appreciate it. He gave us a shout out for hitting our 350th broadcast. So always loved Run DMC, man. He was a good player. But Coach, what can we look forward to this weekend, this Friday night?
Look forward to some fast, physical, fearless offensive football and a defense that's going to fly around and hit whatever shows up. And we're excited to compete against those acting Red Devils and give our fans something to be proud of.
Coach, again, thank you so much for your time. And thank you guys for all. I always want to say tuning in. It's not old TV anymore. Thank you for joining us online and watching this interview. And for the loose cannon, David McBee and Coach McCarthy, go out and do something nice for someone. And remember, your tomorrows are never guaranteed. Have a great week, and we'll see you Friday night in Yellville.
Hey, Dave, Joy, Darren McFadden here, man. Wanted to send you guys a huge congratulations and a thank you from everybody. They really appreciate you guys surpassing live streaming 350 high school games over the last 6 years in the north central Arkansas area, man. Everyone, the family and the fans, everyone are very appreciative of it. They thank you very much, man. And I want to thank you guys very much for doing that, what you guys do for the community and bringing those games right to their living room, man. They really appreciate that, and I appreciate that from you guys. And always go Hogs, man. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen.